Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 10. I'm so excited about this one. I have been thinking about this episode for so long. And this is What the Very Hungry Caterpillar Taught Me. This is a book by Eric Carle. So, some beautiful 8 life lessons that I really want to share with you. And this episode is dedicated to my gorgeous daughter, Rosie, who was part of unlocking the key to my heart, the key to this life that I live now, and how I help others fulfill their lives. So if you're listening in on the podcast, welcome. If you're watching on YouTube, hey there, give you a wave. You've also seen a little front thing of the book. So I'd just like to share a little story with you that one day my husband turned up to work and said, look, I've just got a few minutes. Did you want to catch up? I've just got Rosie to come and see you. And I think she was about 3 at the time. And after Rosie was born, I went straight back to work. I think it was around, I don't know, just before she was 6 months old. And so he was home with Rosaline. And I just threw myself back into work. I was just so busy. And often they would come to catch up, but I'd be like, oh, I've got to get to this meeting, or hey, sweetie, just swing by the office, that kind of thing. And I said, actually, let's go out for a cuppa. And we left my office for the very, very, very first time. So I think I'd been in the organization for 7 years. So I had worked through every lunch break, not done the morning tea, afternoon tea thing, just getting there, do 8, 10, 12 hours. It didn't really matter, but just driving myself into the ground. And for some reason this day, I was like, you know what? Why don't we just go for a cuppa? So I just remember getting out of my office and feeling the sun on my face, and just the smell of, it was autumn, and all the orange leaves are on the ground and they were crunching, and Rosie was jumping and squashing them. And then I was having visions of when I used to do that with my mum, and my mum loves crunching leaves, and hubby and I were hand in hand. And I was like, this is amazing just to create this in the day, but I'd never given myself permission. Anyway, off we went to the cafe, and normally it's busy, but I just really, for some reason, that moment wanted to just really dig deep into that moment. And she pulled out these books, The Very Hungry Caterpillar, and she asked me to read it to her, and I did, and I read it to her, and it was so beautiful. Especially at the end where it says, and he turned into a big, beautiful butterfly. And I had the book, and if you're watching on YouTube, we're doing these actions where the butterfly was actually flying, and then she got off a chair and she just went around the cafe as a butterfly, just fluffing her wings, and everyone was watching her do that, and they're like, oh, it's so cute. And I was just mesmerized in this moment, and I was like, wow, I've been missing this. I've been missing this for so long. And that really was the catalyst for me to desire more for my career, to desire more that lights my heart up. And it's like, I've been punishing myself. Like, I can't take a break and I can't do this. Like, why? Why is that? I've probably got hundreds of hours that I need to recoup back. But I just didn't. So this book is really pivotal in sharing so many life lessons with me. These lessons have helped my clients, and when I reflect on it, it's really started with the book. So I want to share with you the 8 life lessons from this book today. So I'm just going to quickly share screen for you and bring it up. Awesome. So if you're watching live on YouTube, you'll see this, and if you're listening on the podcast, I'll take you through those. 8 life lessons from The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. The number one is, we can live in a world we resist with every cell in our body, yet continue to create it day after day. So I was tired, I was exhausted, I was resisting going and doing another 12-hour days, or negotiating this deal, or, living in this aggressive defensive space, which my role required me to do. Yet I continued to do it. I continued to get up and drag myself and put my suit on, my lipstick, and flip-flop in my heels, and step up in my power suit and do whatever deals had to be done, or negotiate whatever incomes or work. And I did it day in, day out for years. And it wasn't until that moment I just went, crumbs, I'm doing this, but I've created it. Like, I chose the job. I'm choosing to work these hours. I could work my contract hours if I want to, but I was actually not choosing to, not standing up for myself. And we can live in a world we resist. Like, I was resisting it. I was so exhausted of it, but I just kept doing it, even though I had created my own little, place that was uncomfortable for me to be in, and I'm responsible for that. And the book really taught me that. So if you're going day in, day out to something you don't love, there is an opportunity to change it. I have helped many people do that through my programs, whether it's my 4-week or my 8-week, or those that are working with me for a full 12 months. It doesn't really matter. Some of them have just implemented things from my free half-day workshop. They're starting to make those changes, and I invite you to do that as well. The second thing is our babies grow up so fast and we can miss it big time. I was like, what happened to 0 from 3? And yes, I was present and I was there, but I didn't really cherish every moment. It'd be like, oh, in a minute, darling, because I've got this and I've got that. Like, that really needed to stop for me. They're growing so fast. Like, my littlest one now is 14. So 14, 8 and 5, it's just way too fast. And as I read the book to them, like, my middle daughter still loves me reading the book, and then she'll read it to my youngest son. And what I notice is they just grow up so quickly. Like, my son didn't know the days of the week or what the fruits were called, or, there's so much great learning in the book as well. But it was, each time I read it, I just realize how quickly they grow up, and also how important it is not to miss it. The third one is that children have an innate knowing about mindfulness. So in that moment, when I said to her, and then you became a beautiful butterfly, and we're doing the hands and showing the book, and she became the butterfly, like, she just wanted to be totally in that moment. And children have this innate knowing. They just do it. You're walking along the street and you're like, come on, and they've stopped and they're just looking at a pebble or a feather. Like, they are living through their whole senses. They're smelling, touching, tasting, exploring, feeling into everything. They're on their own time. They just have this beautiful knowing about mindfulness, and it's something that we can really learn from every day. The fourth thing I learned about this book is there's so much value in nurturing our inner child. Okay, so doing the things that we really just desire, going back to the things that we love. I've just started to learn how to cartwheel. It's something I never mastered as a child, and my daughter's teaching me, and it's just so freeing, like, to concentrate on something totally magical and different. And what I'm learning with my work on the inner child is that if we haven't nurtured our inner child, if something has been disregarded in our childhood, not addressed, it comes back up in our adult lives to address. And so there's just so much value in nurturing our inner child, connecting with our inner child, and there's many ways to do that. I'd love to help you if you have some things in the past that keep coming up, whether it's coming up in your identity, like you're a people pleaser or you're a rebel. It can come up in many different ways, but there's so much value in nurturing that inner child and just being in play. It's just a beautiful space to be and tap into, beautiful energy to tap into. So number 5 is to truly evolve. It's actually beneficial to pause in a safe space, then push through the breakthrough. So a lot of clients that I work through on their evolution, whether they want a new career, whether they have just left their partner and they're trying to find their feet on their own, whether they're about to retire, whether they've just realized, I've just been missing life. I just want to step up. Like, I want a fulfilled life. I don't know where to start. And a lot of them are so keen with effort and energy. They just want to go, 100 miles an hour, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that. It's actually beneficial when we're evolving to step back, okay, to go into the cocoon and just have a little look at ourselves, push pause, sit with ourselves in the darkness, work through our pain points, know what that is, and then push and break through like the butterfly does as it emerges. So my programs are all built around the concept of this, all of them, and they all build on that. So there's just, when we do want to shift and change, a lot of us are a bull at a gate, but there's so much value, as in the book, to eat and eat and eat and fill up our cup and go in and just pause. Just pause, take the time, get the clarity, and push through and emerge. Number 6, we need to take responsibility and ownership for our transformation. So often we can get frustrated with what's happening around us and quick fixes and money back guarantees and all these things about other people holding responsibility for our transformation doesn't work, that there's, a safety net. We need to take responsibility for our own transformation, and that's the steps. The same as like the hungry caterpillar. Searched and searched and searched for food, ate all the food that it needed, created its own cocoon, took responsibility for its transformation. So no one else did that. No one else did that but the very hungry caterpillar, right? So like the caterpillar, we need to take responsibility and ownership for our own transformation and take the little steps. Eat through one berry and then 2 strawberries and so on and so on, day by day, week by week. Number 7 is the beauty of the butterfly resonates with all ages. There's a magical presence that surrounds them. So each time I read the book, I'm reminded of that. And I hear so many stories of people saying that they feel that when butterflies visit them, it's people visiting them or the spirit visiting them or something from the past. So since my grandmother passed away, I've been seeing lots of butterflies, same as my stepmother as well. They just, when I'm having a difficult day, a butterfly without a doubt will see. There was the most amazing butterfly outside my window the other day. My husband was like, look at that. I said, oh, look at that big, beautiful butterfly. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's cool. But its wings were closed and it was massive, right? And then it opened them and he's like, oh, I have never seen a butterfly like that before. And he's like, oh, just so breathtaking. The kids love it. Elderly people love it. There's just a magic around them. And the book always reminds me of that, of the magic of butterflies and that they resonate so deeply. It's particularly their beauty. There's just something so special about them. And number 8 is that evolving is possible for all of us, for all little caterpillars grubbling along day to day, those of us stuck in our cocoon that haven't emerged. Evolution is just possible for all of us. And I'm so grateful that I'm on the chosen path to this. So I'll tell you a little story about how I know. I keep getting signs that I'm where I need to be. I'm an evolution coach. I have programs called Emerge and then Evolve and then Embody, all around the symbolism of the butterfly, right? And I just started praying for the right support, for the right member of my team. Here comes my little man. For the right member of my team. And they called me and said, we've found someone, we'd like to interview you. The interview actually was just an introduction and she started that day. Absolutely perfect. And I started thinking about this podcast and what it's going to look like. And a picture of her daughter flashed up on her screen when she was screen sharing. And I was like, oh, I love that book. And she's like, it's my daughter's absolutely favorite book. And so I just keep seeing signs through this book and connections that, the work I'm doing is meant to be. So continually, I'm just seeing so many confirmations that I'm on the right track. If you would like help with your evolution, I really recommend you reach out. If this is resonating with you, I'd love you to share on any of my socials how this book has also helped you, what you've learned from the book, what your kids have learned from the book. I'd love to connect and know you all. And if you'd love a community to support you and your evolution, or you need the guidance, connect more here. If you're on YouTube, just hold your phone up to the QR code and scan, and you'll get all of my links there. And if you're listening in on the podcast, just have a look at the show notes and you'll be able to link in there and connect with me. So take care. God bless. Thanks so much for sticking around for the rest of the podcast, and look forward to bringing you episode 11 next week. Bye-bye.